What is going on? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a video that I put on Instagram showing you exactly how much money I made from each shot and just a little bit of the background on what I was actually shooting, what the end deliverable was, and how you can potentially do this for clients moving forward. So, looking at this, this is the video that we started with. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Yeah. All right. So I want to break this down because obviously that's super quick. Each shot is only like, half of a second. But each shot represents one of the jobs that I've done in the last year or so and has like the dollar amount that's, associated with that. So this shot here is a shot that I did in Las Vegas, and the end deliverable was an edited video, 2-minute video, and 10 edited photos. So I ended up charging $750 for this because the travel time was a little bit longer than expected. Usually I'll charge like $6.99 for a 2-minute video compilation, 10 edited photos. This was a little bit further away, and we were capturing, a little bit more area because this was a development that was going up by like Las Vegas. And so that was the dollar amount. This was one of those clips from that shoot. So it basically was, the video, I went out and captured it, then I edited it, gave it back to them, then I edited the photos as well. And that's really what came behind the dollar amount for the $750. Now, this one is a shot that I did in Houston, and this was $1,200. Now, this price was actually way lower than what I actually got paid for this job. I got paid around $4,000 for this project, but I didn't want to put that up there because people were already getting frustrated enough in the comments saying, they don't know. I mean, these guys are pretty good, but some of the people were saying, these shots are terrible, or, how could you get paid for, that much? It's not believable. So this one, let me break it down. My day rate's about $1,200. So if I'm going out to a site and I'm going to take 8 hours or so, I'm going to charge that full day rate. Now this one, what we had to do was we had to travel to Houston. We flew there. So obviously travel expenses are going to be added into the final invoice of the project, adding up to that $4,000 mark. And then we ended up spending actually 2 days. So I traveled, did a half day of travel, shot the other half day, and then the day after that flew home. So I ended up charging, I think it was like a 2-day full day rate, just based on the amount of time that I was committed to the project. And really what we did on this shoot was, it was just a video production shoot. So I was just handing off the drone footage to my client to have them put it in for the final product. And I didn't have to touch any of it. It was great. But traveled a bunch, had to, spend a couple $1,000s just on plane tickets and everything like that. But this $1,200 is actually like way lower than the end product. But I didn't want to put that in there because you've got the expenses that go along with it. So then I'm actually not getting paid that amount. But that's kind of a breakdown of this shot. All right, this shot is one of my construction progress updates that I do here in Vegas. I go out once a month, and we started out by doing mapping and then also some aerial photos to track the time lapse and stuff. But the $850 came from that initial visit of $500 for the map, and then let's see, I think it's $350 for the photo and video shot. What we're doing now is about $750 a month, where we're doing the $500 map, and I'm going out twice to capture it just because I'm so close to an airport that I can't capture it all in one session. So I'm breaking it up. But this is a monthly contract that I do specifically for construction, and it's a great time. I love it. All right, this one, probably one of my more favorite projects just because this is it looks like a castle back in Indiana. And this shot, basically what we were shooting was a 2-minute video compilation with 10 edited photos, but I went back multiple times to actually shoot this. So instead of the $700, I added another 100 for another visit. And what we did was we put together that 2-minute video compilation to really highlight everything, and then those 10 edited photos to market that property. And this property is just stunning. I love the footage. I love using it any chance I get. But the end deliverable for this one was really meant to sell the house and market the property for, the owner who wanted to actually get it on the market potentially and sell it. And so we did that edited version for the final deliverable. Oh man, going way too fast here. So this one, and then we'll get back to this 450. This was a shoot for a company in Las Vegas. We did a 2-location visit project with this. So coming from the $6.99 of the 2-minute video compilation, we ended up doing 20 edited photos for this client. And we did 2 different locations. So the first location was their property, their address, their site that they actually run, their business out of. And then we went to a client whose house that they service, and ended up shooting some stuff more behind the scenes of what it looks like for them to do the work that they do. And so since it was multiple locations, that's where that 850 comes from. On, if it's not just one spot that we're shooting for an hour, then I add on some additional charges. So that's where that 850 comes from. And then we'll go back to this 451. This was another shot of the Vegas Strip from a little bit further away, but that shot was just a strictly drone footage capture shot where I was sending it to a video production company to finalize the product that they were wanting to work on, which was like a film or something. And we ended up spending about 2 hours on site. So instead of just the $400 mark, we brought that, or I think it was initially $350, but with needing to get approvals and then spending 2 hours on site, I added an additional 100 for that to get it to the 450. All right, got to be quick on these ones. All right, this one was a project that we did for the county wanted to see just what, there's a certain spot or a certain place that people run a ton for throughout this whole city that they actually have started working on to just revamp it and make it better. There's a lot, it goes through the entire city, and it's basically this walkway that they really wanted to get footage of just to show from start to finish where it started and where it went. So what we did on this one was the project consisted of, when I actually pitched it, we did 4 different parks along with this place. This was called the Greenway. And so because it was a bulk package discount, what I ended up doing was I brought it, instead of $700 a visit, brought it down to $600 per video. And then that included some edited photos and an edited video. And so this $700 mark is kind of basic on just what this shot was encompassing, which was that Greenway walkway that they wanted to capture from start to finish. This one, since it took a little bit longer, I added $100 onto this one because we had to basically go, I think it was 3 or 4 miles, and capture the whole thing from start to finish. So it just took longer than I expected. All right, this one is actually a monthly or a bi-weekly project that we did, where we did 2 visits a month to capture the progress of this building here. And it was more like a marketing piece, promo piece for the business owner. They wanted to track that progress because they're really excited about moving into a new building. They were going to be there for the next probably 20 years. And they wanted to see as the progress went. And so what we did was about $450 a month. And that usually consisted of 2 different visits. And we would give them a 30-second video clip and then a couple edited photos. And then we'd put it together for a time lapse at the end. And I think the project was maybe 8 months long, or maybe a little bit longer, but that was a cool monthly bi-weekly project that we did. All right, this one was a monthly construction progress update that we did, um, along with just photos and videos to track the progress every single time we went out. And we did like a video orbit and then some creative shots like this one. And each visit was $300. So $300 a month. And we would go out, give them like a 30-second promo, and then 5 to 10 edited photos for, this was kind of like one of the last site visits that we did. So it was coming along pretty quick. And yeah, fun to be able to do monthlies. I love doing monthlies. This was the same thing, another monthly. I think we're charging, instead of 300, I think it's like 375. But we were doing quarterlies for this one, where we would go out once a quarter, capture the progress, show them like that 30-second, video orbit, and then some edited photos. Oh, man, not fast enough. The last one was a solar inspection for the $300 mark. And usually if I'm going out, no matter what I'm doing, the base minimum is about $300. And sometimes like contracts where I'll set it up in, but like if I set it up a year or two ago and I'm still locked in on that price, I still try to honor that price, even if it's like an 18-month contract. But usually after like 6 months, my prices go up, and then a year prices have gone up. So then you look back and you see that number and you're like, wow, I would have charged more, but I'm kind of stuck in the contract just to honor the client that I initially worked with. But that $300 inspection was for a individual homeowner, and he was getting solar on his house. He wanted to see, the before, during, and after, just to make sure the solar installers actually did what they say they were going to do. Turns out they actually didn't. So we ended up going out 5 times, charged $300 per visit. I think the last 2 I ended up giving him a deal because we didn't expect to ever go out more than once or twice, and ended up giving him like $200 for the last 2 visits. But still, great project, turned into 5 visits, and he really, really was thankful for the footage because he was able to see that the installers damaged a bunch of shingles and they put on the wrong brand of solar, and having those photos to go back on was what allowed him to have that leverage to have them come back out, redo the whole thing, and then fix his shingles. All right, now this one is the $400 one here. Now this was an hour of just drone footage capture on site for one of my video production clients, where we were doing basically a project for a new home build, and they were marketing the type of stuff that they put on the walls for these Vegas homes. So that was a great project. All right, $700. This was a shot, more of a creative shot, but the video was more focused on specifically the park. And so just like I went back to told you about the Greenway, where we did like 3+ miles of the Greenway capturing the entire thing, this one was part of that contract where we did a visit for a park that was connected to the Greenway. And we did another single video for that. I think it was a 1 to 2 minute video compilation with some call outs, and then about 5 to 10 edited photos for the park, for the county, just to show them, they could market that to have more people come out to the park. And I just really like this shot of the railroad. That's kind of like one of the dividers between the park and then another section. So that's that $700 mark. The $699 is what I call it. Whoa, super fast. The one before this, $500. Now this was a shot that we did for marketing a specific project and a service-based business company for the $500 mark. And we were just providing, a 30-second video, and that was about it. This one was a construction project where we did 2 locations. We did monthly visits, and this was back before I charged higher than I do. And we were doing $250 per project because they were really, really close to each other. And since it was two different projects that we're doing monthlies on, kind of gave them a little bit of a discount. Instead of that $300, which would put it, $360, I gave them $100 off for the $250. And that was monthly, where we would go out every single month, track progress of this, do an orbit, do some photos. That was cool. All right, this one was a very unique project. This guy had reached out, said he wanted to get some drone shots of his proposal. And so I ended up having to hike ahead of him on this before they got there, hide in the bushes. And then when he got to a specific spot, he said, take off. And once we see the drone, I'm going to get down on one knee. So super fun. And we did that for the $300 mark where we did some edited photos. I also got some video clips though too, just to throw in. And you can tell she said yes. She's pretty happy. All right, so this was for Chick-fil-A drive-through, and we got some footage for about an hour, just kind of doing like a time-lapse, hyperlapse more so, of the drive-through during like peak hours, or I don't know if this is peak hours. It's not a ton of people in there, but just tracking that just to show more of like the marketing side, showing like what they can do. And then we did some like individual clips where the owner or the manager of the restaurant was like waving outside. We did a flyaway. We did a couple photos. And I gave them kind of a good deal. And they also gave me some Chick-fil-A credit. So that was cool. All right. This one is a shot of this road. But really the main project was actually this restaurant right here. They were wanting to basically inspect the parking lot behind their building, because they were trying to make sure that just didn't get like developed, and it was potentially going to be developed. So they wanted to show that during different times of day that customers were using that additional lot for, you know, parking and then going into the restaurant. So if they built anything there, they would lose business. So this was just kind of a cool clip that I added from that shot, but we're really focused on just what everything looks like in the parking lot for this client. And we went out 4 different times, and I charged like $300 a visit. So this $700 mark is lower, but it was, I think that was like half the project that we did. And then we came out multiple times just to basically track each, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like morning and then evening. And so, yeah, that $700 mark is lower, but I just wanted to put it in there because, you know, it's a cool shot. All right, this was another shoot that we did, just capturing, it's actually a construction job, and capturing the site. We actually did this for $400, the $350 mark was usually what I started with when it came to just an hour of drone footage capture for a video production company. And this one, we also had to get some approvals to fly there, which brought it up to $400 at the end of the day. Done that a couple different times throughout the project. This one was another simple drone footage capture for film or documentary, and I think we ended up doing 2 visits here, but I believe the price point that we ended up doing was like $250, but since we did 2 different visits, I think we ended up like charging $500 for this, just to capture for the documentary. So a lot of these are, and I like using these shots, that's why I put them in here, for like from video production clients that I've worked with, because those are usually more fun than just looking at dirt from construction. All right, this one was showing $1,200. We ended up doing a video compilation, full day capture, and really highlighting the security capabilities of a team at a college. And so this was like, it's called a photo kite. It's not technically a drone because it's actually connected, but we captured footage of that. We captured a bunch of other different areas on the site, and staged a lot of stuff for the video production. So I provided them some footage and then some edited photos. And I think it ended up turning into being like a $1,500 project with like the shooting and the edits that I made. All right, this one was a half day shoot, which would be the $600 mark, which is typically what I do for a half day. And I think it just went a little bit over, or we ended up, I think it was because it's like a little bit further away than I expected to drive. So I just charged an additional $50 outside of the half day rate. But cool shot in the desert where there's like nothing around. So that's another video production project that I was just sending the footage. All right, this one was for a local landscaper who does a ton of lawn care and landscaping and all that kind of stuff. Definitely worked a lot with different clients like this. And yeah, we ended up doing a 2-minute video compilation and some edited photos. I think it was 1 or 2 hours on site. And this was like one of my earlier projects. So I ended up charging like around the $500 mark for all of that, but turned into a great business. We worked with him probably 5 or 6 times after this project. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I was initially charging like $300 per video compilation. And then since it was like a couple more hours on site with photos, that's where we got the 500 from. This one was, technically it was maybe, yeah, I think it was like 200. We just did some photos, keepsake property photography photos for this place because they had like a ton of great just farmland out here, and they had a bunch of horses. And so we captured that, we captured the property, and then we ended up printing a big like 3x5 foot canvas of one of the photos for them to hang, and they ended up giving some other prints away. So $200 plus the expenses of actually printing it all together. So the end deliverable was just edited photos, but I brought them through my print store and charged a little bit more from that. So probably turned into like $300-400. This one was a really cool project where we shot this really cool construction where this is this huge retaining wall, like probably like 30 feet tall. And we went out multiple times, shot for like a couple hours each visit. I think we broke it up into like 400 per visit and provided them with like a 30-second promo video and then some edited photos. Turned out really good for the $800. All right, this one was some farmland that we were capturing, and we provided a 30-second promo video with 5 edited photos, and I was at that $550 mark for our social media package. But yeah, probably less than an hour on site, and then put the edit together for the client who's trying to sell the land. At the end of the day, it's totally possible. You got to find the right clients, whether you're focusing on construction, real estate, video production. You've got to show them exactly what you could provide them. And when I send a construction company an example of what I could do for them, I'm way more likely to get that project than if I were to try to explain like what I could do for them and then I don't have anything to show that I'm actually going to provide them. Like if you're saying like, yeah, we could do time-lapse progress updates, we could do mapping, we could do video production, real estate, whatever it is, you want to package it up to show them exactly what you can do. And then they're more likely to buy because they're not thinking, how does drone footage impact me? If you can answer that question for them, so many clients are going to work with you. But you've got to be willing to package it up and show a video production company, show a marketing company, show like real estate, anything like that, construction, video production. Like if you can show them what it looks like to work with you and what footage you're going to get them at the end of the day, it's so much easier of a sell. This obviously is just like a shot of me on a mountain over here. Like it's fun. Like flying drones is fun, but you've also got to be good at like what you do. You got to be practicing. You got to be flying regularly. Like practice makes perfect. So if you're wanting help getting to the next level with your drone business, and you've got your 107 or you've got your drone and you're trying to figure out like how to actually turn it into making money, like it's absolutely doable. You just got to find the right clients. And that's what I do in my coaching program. We break down 3 specific industries that you can target, and we build out those portfolio items to make sure that we attract the right clients. And I teach you how to be a professional drone pilot so that you can build your credibility and work with clients that like want to pay you what you're worth and like want to refer you so you can get, testimonials and more clients along the way. That's what we teach. We teach how to get paid to fly. I teach how to price all these services, what I've done, what I recommend, and why I do what I do and how you should too. After the last 6 years, I figured out, pretty much how to do it pretty well. And, through that, I've been able to help a ton of pilots get to that next level, break into different industries, and really build out a solid portfolio to then market to ideal clients. So that sounds like something you want to do. Go ahead and hit my link to book a time to chat about working with me. We can talk about your goals. We can talk about where your struggles are. And we can talk about the program just to really see if you'd be a good fit and if you would get a ton of value from that. So hit that link if you're interested in it, and we'll see you in the next video.